Hello to all our viewers. My name is Svetlana Amiri. Once again, we are coming to a very exciting episode on AGN, sponsored by Nabi Fry, Assyrian Fund for Culture, and AGN as well, Assyrian Global Network. Today, we are going to meet an Assyrian author, poet, and artist, and his name is Paul Bayou. Good evening, Paul, or hello, Paul. How are you today?
Good evening. Thank you so much. And I would like to thank all our viewers today.
We're so excited to learn more about you as a person, individual, and especially about your beautiful art and some of the books that you have written also. So please tell us a bit about yourself, Paul, your birthplace, your wife, your family. What can we learn about you?
My name is Paul Bayou. I have my wife. Her name is Pauline Bayou, and one son, Eugene Bayou. I was born in a tiny village northern Iraq called Tin in Satna Valley, 1959.
Thank
And
you.
we took a long journey to migrate to Baghdad and settle in Baghdad after my village was burned down in 1961. So we lost all the papers, everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And tell us about your youth growing up in Iraq and the challenges you had. I know that you had mandatory 5-year military. Tell us a bit about your youth. I want to lead into how you became an artist and what led you to becoming an artist and the support that you had. So tell me a bit about your youth and growing up during those challenging times.
When we came after that long journey from our village to different cities until we reached Baghdad, which was a long journey at that time because there was not enough transportation. And we settled in a home that hosts like six Assyrian family migrated from the north. It was very hard, like to come to a society, different environments, different language. It was a bit challenging at the beginning, but we
Really?
managed to live and continue studying and working. We learn Arabic and manage through the school until university.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like you had a lot of support growing up, getting into university. I understood from reading your book. Tell us about the support that you had from your family.
I had support from my family, have support from friends. At that time, we support each other. Really, we were so many youth, like Assyrian in town. We support each other through the study and through our life. That was that was the connection.
Hmm. And were you working at that time when you were going to university and college? Were you
No,
working as
I didn't work here. I worked at the fourth year of pharmacy school. I work in a pharmacy, yes, as a
well?
part of training and learning the system.
Right.
But before that, no.
Before that, no. And when did you first realize in your, I know that it's happened in your youth because I've read one of your books and I will also show the other one that I read in your book titled My Art, My People, My Journey into Mesopotamia Through Colors. So tell me what inspired you to get into art? How did your journey into being an artist begin?
I started realizing I have little bit talent in art since like the first year of the school. We didn't have paperwork, so the only school that accept us is Catholic Church.
Mhm.
They had a school that will accept because all our paper was burned, so no government school because I don't have ID. At Catholic school, yeah, I start painting like, and my teacher, she liked my painting, so this she displayed them in school hallway and different places. That gave me encourage.
Wow. Okay. So this was the photos that you had drawn. Was were you using what kind of art material were you using
I
to?
was using pencil and pastel.
Uh-huh. Okay.
The
On
school was
paper.
far away, like because I have only my mother supporting seven kids.
Right.
I used to walk to the school, which was 20 minutes away, and saving the money from my transportation and buy art paper, colors, clay to make my toys. We
Right.
didn't have that luxury to buy toys. Like my mom, she was only a working person.
Right.
So I
And
used
how?
to buy a lot of clay and make my toys. Like I make my figures, like either horse or human or subject or car. That was my toy in elementary school.
Right. And how old? Oh, elementary school. And most children at that point would not be saving money like you were. You were saving money to buy your art and the items that you would be using for your art. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was very quiet when, and my childhood was very quiet, and I can feel the pain around me. So I decided to paint and have peace.
Hmm. And so when you mentioned that you decided to paint to have peace. So obviously your journey through your art helped you through the challenging times. Is that what you're telling us?
What you are now, like your journey will shape your arts subject and will shape what you want to do in art and what you need to accomplish and what's
Right.
your goal.
Mhm.
Each artist has different ideas, different mechanism of art, different using of materials or subjects, and your journey will decide that.
Mhm. And you did say that you were inspired by what inspired you specifically? Was it your challenges? Was it your homeland? Is it your culture, your life experience? What was it
It's
specifically?
mostly a lot of experience. And
Hmm.
like before 2003 or 2005 or 2000, maybe it's five, my subject was all like human. I paint Mesopotamia as whole, like through a lot of art shows, group shows
Right.
during that time. But I moved to focus only on Assyrian art since
Mhm.
2007 and till now. I need to expose that culture more to American viewer, as most of my collector are American and Jewish. So
Mhm.
I'd like them to know more about me and my art.
Right. And yeah, the beautiful colors. I want to talk about the colors that you used, the beautiful colors and the pictures that you actually painted. So we'll get to that in a moment. But I do have a question. I do have one thing that I want to read from page 8 of your book.
Mhm.
And I would like to just read something, if I may. And I'm going to refer to the colors that you chose in this
Okay.
book. And it says, if I may read, it says here, just one moment, please. My Art, My People, page 8. This is from page 8. My colors are united in one art piece, reflecting the tone of the earth, the language of the universe, the cry and pain of the oppressed people. On my canvas, the black, red, and white are in harmony, just like my soul. I would love my people to achieve that kind of unity. Could you please elaborate a little more and tell us what you were thinking when you wrote that?
Let me start first, like saying I was in Catalyst Art Show in 2007. I wasn't introduced to Assyrian community. Like I never was around Assyrian community, as all my work was with with American and foreigners.
Right.
At my show, suddenly the Assyrian family came, like of Dr. Isa, Dr. Sargon Isa. He was a head of Assyrian Aid Society at that time. And this is my first time Assyrian family come to my art show. Really, I didn't have Assyrian coming to my art show before. So he introduced me to the Assyrian community. He told me just come work with us and support us, and we will like share your art. I told him okay. So that was my first introduction to Assyrian community. When I came to that community, I saw the differences. Like this is my first time. I know like there's Chaldean, there's Syriac, there's Assyrian,
Mhm.
and they are fighting about flag and unity and all that subject. That's why when I decided to write that paragraph, I was thinking like using all my colors. Each color is beautiful by itself, and if I mix them, that will make a unique colors. That's when I wrote my that statement.
Right. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that and helping me to understand. I did enjoy the Mr. Paul has his paintings actually inside the book. For those of that you purchase, we will
These are a span of 25 or 30 years of
of
art.
paintings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
since 1980.
Right. And at the end of the program, we will let our viewers know where they can purchase these books and or your paintings. So we'll talk about that some more. But going back to this paragraph, thank you for clarifying and explaining to us about the colors and how they came about in your book, your paintings. But I do want to go back to, before we talk about your art, that you did mention in your book that you became a pharmacist. So tell us how that came about. And you are a pharmacist, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm a pharmacist, really. Yeah, because art school was close to only Baptist party and like that. So I didn't bother to apply because they told me you will not be accepted until you join the party. So I didn't agree with that. So I have in my final exam in high school 86 degree,
Percent.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That will allow me to go to medical school in Basra or dental school in Mosul or pharmacy in Baghdad. These are far away, Basra and Mosul are far away from my family. I don't like to leave my mom alone or my sisters and brothers. So I decided to join pharmacy school.
And that was within your neighborhood, the pharmacy
Yeah, I
school?
was close by, yeah, that I will be close to my family. In pharmacy school, I was sad. I go there feeling of sadness, like I didn't fulfill my dream to become like professional artist.
Mm.
But I was happy to find out they have art galleries, and there was an Iraqi fine artist. He told me, "Don't be sad. I will teach you art. How many years you will be here?" I told him, "I'll be here 5 years." Okay, continue with me 5 years, and we will work together
Yeah.
creating art.
So
That gave me some encouragement and power really to continue pharmacy school.
good. So there was an art studio or on
This
campus,
was an art studio, yeah. It
and you
was
were
very
able.
professional art studio, and he was professional. And my dad, he wasn't encouraged to me to go to pharmacy to art school. Told me, don't do it. So I listened to him.
Yes, you're a good son. You listen to your dad. That's good. So, and then your work experience as a pharmacist, where you met your art teacher, which you talked about, that was the Professor Yassin. Was that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, Abdullah Yassin.
Yeah, Abdul Elah Yassin. And then when did you tell us about your move to the US, to the United States, and and also about your first art show and how was your art discovered? Can you tell us about your move to the
Yeah, we
United States?
moved to United States to LA in 1990, I'm sorry. Yeah, when I came here, I have to study hard. Like the first 3 years was so hard because I have to manage the system, the pharmacy, studying like every day, like 10 to 14 hours in order for me to evaluate my transcripts from Baghdad. And I was successful in 3 years. I became a pharmacist and I have my first job. But during all that time, I was painting on paper. Like I have also collector collecting this art that helped me financially. I get
Okay.
my license, I start working as a pharmacist, and that give me extra income. Then after like maybe 1 year, 1.5 year, then I start painting, like buying canvas I can afford, buying oil color I can afford, and creating a space for me at home to do the art, to paint.
So you
And
have a
my first
studio?
art show
I'm
in
sorry.
Baghdad was 1980. And I think my first show in US was a group show in 2004. And the solo art show was 2003, was in Harvest Gallery. The art show was from Baghdad to America. That I describe my journey from Baghdad coming to America and how the two cultures are, their similarity in our culture. Like our land was occupied by Arabs and converted it to Iraq, and different language, different religion. And US the same thing. US, like, they captured the country from the native Indian and converted it to different level.
Thank you for
Was
sharing.
very successful art show. Really, I have interview in local TV and daily news and LA Time. And
And,
after that, I continue like showing my art with different galleries.
and what were your specific paintings that you had in your first art show? Was it Assyrian culture, or was it what was your art about at that time?
I describe like our culture and our struggle through the years until I left Baghdad. Then the other side was American culture. I draw the native Indian, the cowboy, until now.
Thank you. Thank you. So you have a studio in your home, an art studio?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I understood. Okay, great. So, what about your art now? Where can they be viewed? I can see you have some beautiful photos in your background there. Where can someone, if they wanted to view your art pieces, where could they?
And I'm currently in working to update my websites,
Oh, okay.
which will be coming soon, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
But they can view my art in Fine Art America. I have a website there. They can, like, people collect original prints on paper, canvas, metal, wood, or I offer that too. If they contact me, they can order prints on paper, canvas, other material. It's okay.
Okay, good. So it is available, and
In Fine Art America, yeah.
Okay, we'll post that information up also. And just one more time, I want to go back to your book on page 6, and you made a comment that I wanted to share with everybody here. You said freedom is what makes a country and its people great. Can you please explain that? Because I can see that through your art that you did express that freedom, but let our listeners hear a bit about your comment, how you said freedom is what makes a country and its people great. Can you please elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Freedom is important. Like, that's what we see, and we experience like the suppression and oppression in our countries. Like, I have so many examples in my life facing that. Like, the first thing is, like, I didn't have a chance to go to art school because of the requirement, or because of the all so many different issues.
Challenges, no doubt.
Yeah, our countries, like homelands, they lack of freedom and democracy. Like, people elect according to the tribes or according to the religions. They don't elect a good person to lead, and this will be a problem. And also, like, doing art in Iraq or posting poems or writing poems, you have to walk a fine line, because any deviation from that line will get you in trouble with the government.
So
And
everybody,
it's not like that. We don't have like expression of freedom to express ourselves in art or poems. So everything have to be in symbols, like, so you will not be in trouble.
Right. You have to be extra cautious for
Yes.
sure.
Also here we're facing sometimes like I remember like I had a nice art show. It was titled, maybe I have it here, Religious Politics and Society.
Mm-hmm.
It was in 2007 in Arrowhead. Arrowhead is conservative area like, and everybody knows in LA we the artists are liberal. So the next day in the newspaper was like the head of the newspaper of our art show, impolite subject on display, and they posted my art. But that drives the people to come and to see what's this impolite subject, and it was very successful art show. I
Mm-hmm.
have to meet so many people. They ask me about my background, especially when they see like name Batu, and they say you are from Iraq, and Batu is not Arabic name. I told them no, it's not Arabic name, and that was introduction to my chat with them. Like yeah, my name is Batu. It's based on Bible. Batu, like in English, Saint Peter. We have different names in Iraq. We have different religion, and we have different language, and we are Assyrian.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Great. So, just going back to the questions, I do want to refer to a couple of the paintings that you have recorded in here. In particular, the one that you call "My Wife" from 1997, and I just want to share that. Well, we'll put it up anyway, but tell us a bit about that painting. That was in 1997. So, what were you thinking when you did that beautiful painting of Miss Pauline?
Pauline, my wife, she liked gardening and she liked flowers like her dad. So I took that painting from while she was planting flowers in our garden in Burbank.
Uh-huh. Hmm. And we will post a picture of that so everybody knows what we're talking about. And also, you have another one of your aunt. Can you tell us about your aunt, my aunt Mariam in Burbank in 2005?
Yeah, she used to live in Detroit, Michigan, and upon her visit to Burbank in my house, I hosted her for 1 month. It was a good chance to do a painting of her because she had her traditional clothing and
Yes, it's a
the
beautiful.
the face like image was remind me of the old village.
Mhm. Yes, she looks. Yes, it was. Thank you for sharing that about your aunt, Madam, because you did talk about her in your book.
Yeah,
So I got to see what she looked like, and also your wife, Pauline. You also did a photo of your son. You also painted one of your son with your dog, with his
yeah,
dog,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah,
I'm sure your son is a lot older than that now. Is that correct?
yeah. I did for him another painting when he back from the army. Welcome home.
Oh, okay. Good. Thank you. And what is your favorite? Do you have any favorite pieces?
My favorite piece is still my collection, like my journey with Ishtar.
Hmm. That's your just one favorite?
I have so many pieces. I like them, but this was unique one. Like it's gets me a lot of exposure.
Okay, wonderful. And we're going to talk more about where we can get copies of your books, but then that's the volume one. And
Hmm.
then now I'm going to lead into the second one, which is volume two. And I just have a couple more questions, if we may get into this one. It's called My Art, My People, volume two by Paul Bayou, an Assyrian artist. So tell us, how long did it take between volume one and two, Paul?
Almost 3 years, yeah, yeah. And I have another volume coming. Then that will conclude my story and my 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 journey, like through Assyrian history, like. So I will have another volume coming in 1 year or 2 years, depend how many art pieces I have. Still, I don't have enough to publish it.
Okay, then you have to get very busy painting now.
Yeah.
So you state in the book that you started trimming your daily expenses. We talked about that and how you tried to save money while most children would probably buy toys and games. But you, Paul, as an artist, were preparing indirectly for your future as an artist by buying pencils and paper and doing art in your personal time. And then you also talked about being raised by your mother with 7 siblings in an environment that was very challenging, and you studied hard and worked hard. This is what I get from your book. And then and you talked about your friends when you were growing up, how they shielded you and protected you. Tell me a bit about that. What were you referring to there?
I have so many paintings that's controversy. Like unless you know some people like connected to the government, then they will protect you. And I have one friend. He was my childhood friend, like, and he became a powerful person in government intelligence agency. And he was protecting me really. He told all the others, don't touch him. Like he's my friend, and he's okay. He's not like have any connection to opposition parties or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was nice of him. Very kind of him to protect you. And you seem to have, you said that in your journey through university that you were enjoying your time in university with your friendships, etc. Tell us about that. Did you have an opportunity to be more relaxed around your friends? Because I know outside of university that life was challenging and tough for you. Do you want to talk a bit about that?
I was the university artist. Like I was I used to play guitar, so everybody was around me. And my first art show was in the University of Baghdad, 1980.
Mm,
And they decided to move that show to different colleges. So many students they view it, so I have to travel with that. Also, I
right.
have opportunity like the university sent me to Kuwait to exhibit my art in Kuwait
Wow.
as a building bridge between University of Baghdad and University of Kuwait. So that's helped me to be connected with so many people around.
And did you teach yourself to play the guitar or were you taught?
Playing guitar is like it's a story. Like when I was a teenager, like we used to go back from Baghdad to our village to see my dad. He stayed in the village to protect the land, and in the village there was only 4 seniors.
Mm,
There was no electricity, so our enjoyment was is to explore nature, uh, play around. But at night, we have my uncle. His name is Isaac. He was old and he was a poem teller and also a singer. So he will sing Rawi for us all night, like. But his story will not finish in one night. So he will come again the next day evening to tell us the story in singing. When I return back to Baghdad, the only thing I can feel that Rawi singing is flamenco song.
mm.
So I
Wow.
decided to explore that flamenco, like what's flamenco. I start to buy CDs or cassette that time and listen to flamenco. Then I decided to learn flamenco. And we live in a neighbor like it's called Batawin. Batawin was a place where majority of Assyrian Christian lived there. And our people, like most of our youth, they play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
A guitar shop in street of Al Saadun owned by a Syrian. So I went there, I told him, teach me guitar.
Okay. Okay. That's
I
wonderful.
managed to buy a guitar, then he told me, go practice first. But
Yeah.
we have a pleasure to be with so many Assyrian artists like Biba, like Sargon, like Ashur B'Serkis. The Assyrian club was close by, so we have to go there to be around connected. But
Mm.
I wasn't like moved by Assyrian song and music. I was more into gypsy or flamenco
Gypsy.
music
Very
because that remind me of my village.
Very nice. And then I want to learn a bit more about your wife, Pauline, where you met her. Tell us about that story.
Oh, that's the trip to Kuwait when the University of Baghdad sent us to Kuwait. That's
Mm-hmm.
when the first I met her. She played piano, also she sings, and I was the artist. And I was the only, maybe I was the only Assyrian in the group. The rest were all Arabs, like. So I was interested in seeing her and seeing other Assyrian girl.
Very
When
nice.
we back from that group show in Kuwait, maybe I met her again after 1 year, and while I was working in the pharmacy near her university. She came to the pharmacy to buy something, then we have a connection again.
Very nice. And then, so you met your wife, Pauline, and then you obviously got married not long after, I would assume. How long after that did you
I will say
decide?
1 year.
1 year after that. And yes, go ahead.
1 year, then I was drafted to the army. I was in the army at that time when we get married, really. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, no doubt. And then you said you were in the army. So, no doubt, serving in the army, you would have taken a tremendous toll on you emotionally. You stated that you started searching for Christ through the Bible and questioned and asked God why. What was it you were asking Him about? Why the death, the suffering? You obviously saw a lot of heartache while you were serving in the military.
In the army, the first thing you see, like the people around you, all the soldiers from different places from Iraq, you will see the sadness, the struggle in their faces. And I work in medical units. I was a pharmacist medical unit. We have doctors, we have surgery units. And what you will see during the fight, only the wounded soldier, dead soldiers, and that was on daily basis. And also sick people coming seeking like medication for their illnesses. I decided to hold the Bible and read. Maybe for 4 years I was reading the Bible every night, just looking for answer. Why all that? Why all these people are dying for what? For the land.
A lot
And
of
each one will tell you his stories. Like it's heartbreaking story. Like to hear what other people suffering and what they left behind. Like each person, he will leave behind something, his family, his kids, his wife. It was very tough years.
no doubt. It sounds like a lot of heartache. You witnessed a lot of heartache and a lot of it would have been emotionally very draining. So I want to lead into your book, my last thoughts about Iraq. So tell me a little bit about that book, and then we will obviously share that with our viewers
During
as
my life in Baghdad and during the army, I used to write down quotes from people. Like somebody will tell me something, a phrase, I will write it down in piece of paper. So I collect a lot of papers. I brought them with me to United States, and still I have them. In 2005, I decided to do my art show, my last thought about Iraq. I took these phrases and composed poems on each phrases.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And with each poems I created, I paint that poems. I paint a picture representing that poems. My art show in LA, 2005, we displayed those paintings along with the poems. Like the art gallery, he printed the poems alongside the painting. And that art show was the most successful art show I had because it was sold 100. All the art shows gone. Everything it was 28 painting, all gone.
Mm-hmm.
Then the gallery owner, he told me, publish these poems are beautiful and touching, and I will help you to publish it. So he helped me republish that book. It's short book, 76 pages, but it has a lot of stories, and each line it has a story. And I published that book also in 2007.
2007. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Paul. I've enjoyed getting to know you and learning more about your fascinating story and how you became an artist, a poet, and obviously a musician and an author. So as an Assyrian, we're very proud to know other Assyrians. So please let our viewers know where they can purchase your book or your art. So please go ahead, Mr. Paul. Let us know.
I thank you so much for this opportunity. Really, these books are for my people. That's why I call them my art, my people, and hope they can enjoy the painting and enjoy my story, which is a story of every Assyrian, I think. They can contact me to order these books, or they can order from my publisher, bookbaby.com. But the best way is to purchase it through me. It will be better. That's for the author. Yeah, it's more convenient because I will sign it for them.
Wonderful. So viewers, if you wish to purchase any books or any further information, just follow the prompts with the website and details on the screen. And Mr. Paul would be happy to oblige in any way he possibly can. He's obviously serving his community and calling his books My Art, My People, referencing the Assyrians. So thank you once again for your time, Mr. Paul. I've enjoyed getting to know you more and your fascinating story. Like I mentioned, once again, we would like to thank Nabi Fry Assyrian Fund for Culture and AGN, which is the Assyrian Global Network. Thank you very much.